Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. I always start with that. I'm reading through your comments. I'm going to answer a bunch of comments here. Hopefully you guys can, hopefully I hit a lot of the comments. I'll just give you kind of short answers here. What's your view on home supply stocks? Bullish. Very bullish. Now, the question, remember, money that I have is competing. My money and all of the stocks in the universe are competing for my money. Hopefully I said that right. So we've got all these sectors and all these stocks competing for my money. What do I think's the best sector? Home supply stocks? Maybe, but I mean, you could play that thesis off of homes that need to be built. So it makes sense, but I still like energy because energy is the thing that builds all these homes. And energy is what's short. So I still go back to energy, and I have a tough time finding things that are outside of energy. And my entire theme, the entire thesis, the entire everything is basically based off of energy. And the liquidity coming into the system, which is it's both government stimulus, and on top of it, the loans coming into the system from the real estate market. But when I look at things, it's all energy problems. And when I look at energy, I want the max exposure. And again, this is just me, and it's just an advice. It's just my opinion is I want things based off of the energy. And if they're going to do renewables, if they're going to do all these different ESG type measurement moves where they want these renewable products, even though they are replaceables, obviously the energy is renewable that we're gathering. But if we're going to go that route, we need to ship a bunch more minerals around. So I've developed basically an entire investment around shipping things around and to solve our energy problems. And then direct energy investments. I don't think they're going to be successful at going to this renewable world. I think that the mineral intensity is too great. I think that we're going to have too many problems, and it's going to be delayed for a very long time. We can't implement this very quickly. So when I think about my investments, I play the opposite viewpoint. I think that the fossil fuels are a bridge to this other world that may never exist. So if that is the case, what you want to do in investing is you want to be Han Solo. What's Han Solo? Han Solo means like you're the solo guy out there, and I'm not talking literally Han Solo, but like the solo guy. You want to be the solo guy taking the opposite bet. And what does the opposite bet look like? An opposite bet means that everybody thinks that renewables is going to work. So everybody's piling into renewables, and that's how they're positioning. Now, I'm taking the opposite bet. I'm saying, I don't think they've got the minerals out there to support this renewable world in the amounts that they want to implement. I think it will be delayed quite a bit. And I mean a lot. So if you look at it from that perspective, we're going to have to drill more for energy than what I think they expect. So the opposite bet would be energy service companies. And I'm taking big bets in certain areas based off of where I think the oil is located. So that is how I'm positioning. I share that on the Platinum membership on the channel there. I'm what I think some of those companies are, and some of them we're already positioning in them. And that is where you make a bunch of money. It's when everyone is positioned a certain way and they have it wrong. And they're going to have to move money back to somewhere else in order to move forward. That's where the big money's made. And that's where I went really big into oil, because everyone was telling me oil's bad, oil's this. It's like, oh, we're not going off oil anytime soon, guys. And so I'm happy that I did that, but I piled into exploration and production. Now, energy service companies are still lagging. So I think that's a huge opportunity there. And no one's really looking at them. And they're quietly breaking downtrend patterns and putting in these massive double bottoms. I just laugh, guys. It's fun once you figure out how to read charts and figure out how to position before, and you gain the confidence. Really, it's gaining confidence that really matters. Once you start getting a lot, start making a lot from some of these investments, you position a certain way, and then you just sit in them. You just wait. You gain the patience. And then you just laugh at all these people who use these short-term movements and all the noise. They just run around like little people that are just all afraid. And, I've seen it a lot on the channel. I see it in the comments section. And again, I'm just going to tell you, just hold on. Like this bull market is going to be massive. It's going to be a huge energy crisis. You will make hundreds and thousands of % returns, depending on how well and disciplined you are and how patient you are. I mean, that's really the whole key here, is to identify the trend, be early in the trend, and ride the trend. Riding the trend means 40, 50, 60% pullback sometimes. So what does that mean? It means you have to be patient on your entries. You cannot chase price. You cannot use price as an indication of being right or wrong. Because if you're getting 40 or 50% pullbacks and you're seeing that, you're going to think that you're wrong. So then the question is, I can't use price. What do I use? Ratios. Use ratios. You use market conditions. Use all the things that I've developed on this channel. If you need help doing this, sign up to the Platinum membership for the website in the description link below if you need some help. I'm here to help you. I'm here to do well in this market and help you guys do well. But yeah, you could very well play the home supply stocks, and that would do very well. I think Cuppy's doing that. I don't have any positions for it. Guys, I'll just say this. I saw natural gas. I saw Ultra Petroleum. I saw Chesapeake Energy. I saw all these little natural gas companies last bull market. I can't not unsee that. I saw 100, 200, 300 baggers. I can't unsee that, guys. I've been waiting for this bull market for so long. It's insane. And then once I started seeing, in 2018, I started seeing signs of things turning around, and I just waited. I got lucky in 2020 on that pullback because I did sell out and bought towards the bottom. I did almost all precious metals companies, and then I rotated in September, October, November of 2020 into uranium and oil. So that's kind of how I played it. I could have probably just bought some of these right off the bottom, but they pulled back quite a bit. I got lucky there. And that's what I think there. So SM, NOG, APA, CPE, breakout, baby. What is your sports car, Andy? It's an RX-7. I have an RX-7 and an RX-8. Those are my sports cars, both rotary engines, Wankel engines. I tuned it myself. Tuned the put a larger turbo on it. I tuned the ECU. It's a Power FC. If you want to know what that is, you can look it up. Apex I Power FC. I tuned the car myself. I didn't tune on it. I just straight tuned it using a wideband O2 sensor. And I make, based off of how much fuel I use, I'm somewhere between 400 and 500 wheel horse in a car that's 2,600 pounds, probably 2,500, without me in it. It's pretty fast. It handles incredibly well. I put 18 by 11 wheels, 285 all around. Perfect offsets, measured everything, did all this stuff. You know, I'm an engineer, so that's kind of what I do. And I fine-tuned the suspension on it, the spring rates, sway bars, and it's very neutral. The thing's an absolute animal. Absolute animal. Hi, Andy. I know it's a little bit off topic, but wondering what your opinion would be on Albert S. episode 158, where he claims that silver is trash. I think his arguments are at least worth considering. Anyhow, I'm in platinum. Well, I haven't seen that one, but silver's not trash, guys. They're just trying to get views. Silver's fine. The only thing negative about silver, if you're going to have a negative argument, is a lot of people own it. There's a lot of above ground inventory of it. So that's the only thing, and maybe he's referring to that they can reclaim silver from trash. Maybe that's what he's talking about. But I don't know. I mean, I like silver still. It's the #2 commodity. I also think that, maybe I'll do a video after I watch that clip. But right now, I don't think it's trash. Are hydrogen fuel cells actually going to gain traction? Why does it seem hypothetical at this point? It's very early. It's very early. But, investing isn't about getting an immediate return sometimes. What you want to do is you want to position for a while, accumulate it, and use it as a store of value. When the market finally turns, and it can turn at any second for some of these, because platinum looks really good from a long-term perspective on the technical charts. It looks absolutely excellent on a ratio perspective. So the ratios have never been that cheap. It's probably one of the cheapest assets there is in the world right now, platinum. And all you have to do is buy it and hold on to it. Who cares what the time frame is? If those go in reverse over time, then platinum's going to be one of the best investments, I think, over a long period of time. The timing is the hardest thing to get right. And it's not about putting all your money in one asset or sector. You want to spread out in different sectors and assets. So some of them are mid-stride, killing it, and other ones may or may not be killing it. You want them to go up, but sometimes they don't. And that's the way it is. It's okay. You just have to be patient. And I'll continue to buy physical platinum because it's down. Why not? And that's my take. There's no point in getting worried about it and worrying about the supply-demand deficits or surpluses. And again, a lot of this stuff is guarded, and you don't know what is being consumed real time. So you just buy it and you hold on, and 5 years later, all of a sudden you're up a few 100%, maybe even more than that in 10 years. Maybe you're up 6, 7, 10 times your money. That's a good return with very little risk. So that's why I continue to look at physical metals. What are those? Yeah, and remember, platinum is substituting palladium and catalytic converters all over the place. I think we're going to turn around at some point here. Yeah, hydrogen's a good store of energy or electricity. So I do think hydrogen will be what we select if we want to store electricity. I don't think batteries will be. Not on large-scale electricity storage. I think it's all going to be hydrogen. But that's my take. Why? Because of the minerals required in batteries. I just don't think we have enough minerals out there and enough to make enough storage for electricity. I don't. It's too much. There's way too much. It'll be hydrogen, is my guess. Can you have videos focused on platinum, palladium, and rhodium specifically? Yeah, palladium is that's the out of favor one. Rhodium has some properties in catalytic converters that palladium and platinum cannot mimic. They can load things differently, but rhodium will be in there. Rhodium's in a deficit right now. But platinum, I think, is the one that I would be buying. I mean, we can go and look at all of the supply demand, and it's all somewhat, you're still kind of guessing. It's all futuristic, but I think that platinum's the best bet by a long shot. Whenever the ratio is this low, you just go in there and you buy it up and just hold on. It's not hard, guys. We're looking too far and too deep into it, and you just have to be very patient. I've been buying this since 2019. I bought some in 2019, got caught in the downturn in 2020, bought a whole bunch at the bottom of 2020. Just been holding on. It's that easy. It is. Looking at Andy, have you ever heard of Saturn Oil and Gas? Your thoughts? I believe it's a laggard. I don't know about Saturn Oil and Gas. I've never looked at that one. There are some other ones that I think are good. I might share those with the Platinum members. I just found them. So, and one of them I think is pretty cheap. Just found it though. I just found it. So I'll share that maybe with the members. Got enough CRK. I was trying to, guys. I did buy a bunch at 5 and 7. And now I was hoping for a larger pullback. Hasn't gotten it. So yeah, it says, I felt like my position sizes in Crew, Tel, and Crescent Point were too small, so I took care of that. Actually reduced in my metal royalties where the positions are comfortably larger. Yeah, which is fine. You can do that. I've been very heavy in my oil and gas positions. Actually, I'm very heavy in a few of them. They're massive now. Very good for me, I guess, but very volatile for the portfolio. Some of them, you know, they've gone up 20, 30% in like a week or two. And that move can be massive if your portfolio is overweighted in it. Because I overweighted those in the beginning, but they've gone up so much. They're all over 10 baggers now, and they are very large in relationship to my overall portfolio, and they're like flinging it all around with the volatility. And I just said, I'm just going to leave it. I don't care. Just going to leave it. So any suggestions for a good used car type for a first-time buyer where you can fix stuff yourself? The best car, I mean, it highly depends. If you want a really cheap car, the Chevrolet Aveo in the mid-2000s is actually a decent car and easy to work on. I actually own it. The weak part on that engine is the timing belt idler pulley. If you can do a timing belt change and you change it every 60,000 miles, the car will be fantastic for you. It'll run and run and run. I think it is the easiest car that I know to work on. It has a very good transmission. It has a Getrag, G-E-T-A-G, the same stuff that they build and you find on BMWs. For a manual transmission, they're very solid. The parts are incredibly cheap. The car gets pretty good mileage. All the parts are very cheap on the car, and they're cheap to replace. The original parts are pretty cheap, though. So some of them, you're going to have to do some work and change it out. But the engine is well-designed and solid. So, and anything that Honda makes, if you want a little bit more of a higher-end car, Honda makes really good products. Their engines are absolutely excellent. I think they make the best engines. So, for cheapness, that people are just discarding, an Aveo would be the cheapest with a manual transmission, and then a Honda Civic would be the best probably for, and I own both of those cars. They're both incredibly good. Hondas make the best engines, bar none. But the Aveo, that engine's actually a solid engine, the 1.6 liter. Capital will seek tangible assets in inflation, high interest rate situation. I agree. Totally agree. The biggest issue with uranium is there's few companies that actually have cash flow. Correct. Oil and gas are definitely safer at the moment. Some companies are printing cash. Yeah, I talk about that on the website, the cash cows and all that stuff. And guys, this isn't me. This WhatsApp stuff, it's like these bots come in here and they just garbage diarrhea junk all over the comment section. Absolutely, ugh, I do not like that. People are obsessed with crashes nowadays. There are these big eye-catching events everyone and their mothers hear about. But for every crash, there's countless instances where prices consolidate, go sideways, or contract in a healthy way. But you never hear about those. And that's exactly what we're doing, is we're just contracting or pulling back and consolidating. And you just have to be patient, guys. That's all you have to do. And buy it when it's down. Don't chase. When you buy, and you have to buy more when everybody's scared. And you just kind of scale in to protect yourself if there's a further pullback. But it's not about, you know, these pullbacks will happen. There always will. You just have to condition yourself to live through them. And once you do that, and you can kind of see the big picture, if you can see the big picture view and you just stay on track with the big picture, the big trend, that's where you make big money. The big trend is where the big money's made. It's the worrying, the craziness, and people are going to have differing opinions. I'm a doubter in if someone tells me a trend's going to change and you're at record low inventories, I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. I just don't believe in a trend changing so quickly, especially if the trend is very well intact. So I'm very much a doubter of people who are doubting the trend. I wait until the trend changes, then I will believe that the trend has changed. But again, guys, I get the big picture right. Get right, sit tight, buy on pullbacks, hold the rips, and you'll do fine. You'll do fine. We're in an energy crisis. If you have a large energy exposure, you're exactly where you need to be. Doesn't matter the sector. Could be oil, could be natural gas, could be uranium. They're all good, guys. They're all very, very good. But I'll end it there, guys. Sign up to my website, the Platinum membership below, if you want to. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like. And ride this thing up with me, man. Ride it up with me. I've got a lot of research into all of this stuff, and you just got to ride it. I know sometimes it'll be scary. You're going to see some of your hard-earned money go up and down. I'm there with you. I'm working. I'm doing exactly what everyone else is doing. I'm right there with you, holding on. And a lot of people are going to say you're crazy for holding on. You should be trading in and out. No, you'll see your account afterwards, and then you can compare it to theirs. And then you'll see how much larger your account is up. That's all I'll say. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.